Now that's dry, I'm going to go over the sea again with more or less the same colour and just darken bits of the sea in the background in the same way that I did before, painting around little bits of the white but also painting around little bits of the previous colour. And now underneath this I'm dragging or rolling the brush to try and give the impression of shadow underneath it. Underneath that I've got some paler green, and I just want to put that underneath there to make it look as if the wave is turning over. Just under that bit there, just about to crash over. And deeper blue, pale blue, underneath some of the white in the foreground. And now with the clean brush, re-wet that splash as it hits the rocks. Just re-wet that, and then underneath that drop in some very, very pale blue-grey. Just on the lower part, so keeping the top of it white, but the lower part of it a very, very pale blue-grey. And dragging a little bit on the top of this wave there as well, as it crashes over. The sea could do with just being a bit darker further away. Just deepen a few bits further away. Once the sea's dry, then I can paint the cliffs, and I want three colours for this. Green, which is cadmium yellow and ultramarine, with a tiny amount of burnt sienna on its own, and a much darker colour, brown, darker brown, almost a black, burnt sienna and ultramarine. Really powerful. Starting with the green at the top of the cliffs, just brush that in right up the top there, and then gradually introduce the burnt sienna. Perhaps a little more green at first, then the burnt sienna, and then the darker colour, so that it merges from one colour into the next. Very quickly, just wet this splash area, so that when I take the paint up to it, it melts into the splash. So here's the dark colour and the burnt sienna coming down the cliffs. Now, as I approach the splash, I don't want to have too much paint on my brush, otherwise it can flood into the splash area. Just want it to spread a little bit without going all the way into the wave. Make sure that you've got clean water for that particular bit. It's important that that splash stays clean, and then bring the cliff colour right the way down to the sea now. Nice strong colours. While that's damp, get a flat brush, half-inch flat brush, and a damp brush, and just lift out a few highlights on the cliffs to give it a bit of shape. Just lift out a few light bits where the spray has wet the cliffs and it's lighter there. And also with clean water, just want to dampen the lower part of that splash and drop in some very pale blue-grey. And just a few little bits, dragging the brush over the surface of the paper in that direction, as if it's crashing down on in the shallows. So that needs to dry now before I can do any more to it.